This is my niche. This is my industry.
No one cares. No one gives a fuck. They have their own life,
Yeah.
you know? And I'm going to die and like, I'll be buried and then everyone's going to come after the funeral and be like, I'm hungry.
You catch me crying on camera. I don't care. Fuck, I can do this. What are you talking about? Like, no, I didn't go to Harvard. I am intelligent, but I don't have a university degree. And I'm self-taught in everything, but I'm so confident that I can go learn anything and figure out anything that it has opened my mind up to an extreme amount of success that I know I can have one day. And to others, it may sound crazy. I do believe in manifestation, and I believe in like saying I can do this and it's going to happen, and it's just gonna happen.
That's your belief in yourself. Everyone's an expert at manifesting. They're experts at manifesting their reality, and people get a little bit pissed at that. But I'm like, it's just facts. It's like you are an expert at getting the results you have.
So if you have shitty results, it's because you sit around and you're like, I can't do this. So then you're manifesting losses.
Hey, this is Theo. Welcome to another episode of Frequency Leaders Podcast. And today's guest, we have a very special, amazing frequency leader. And her name is Ashley Kirchner. Did I say that right?
Yeah, Kirchner, correct.
Kirchner, yes. Known to most as Crazy Ash, the good kind of crazy. I would agree with that. Just isn't recognized for her relentless work ethic. She's known for a bold, visionary brain that sees opportunity everywhere in business and in life. Whether she's launching a brand or chasing an adrenaline-fueled adventure, one thing always shows up: energy, and lots of energy. I would agree with that as well. A third-generation entrepreneur, Ashley has built her seven-figure company by the time most of her peers were graduating college. Over the past decade, she's launched multiple bootstrapped ventures in print, fabrication, e-commerce, and EAP wellness. She's hired and managed over 100 full-time employees, in-house employees, yes, real physical businesses, which gave her deep insight into leadership, operations, and people. But while she's capable of setting up warehouses, running all full operations, she truly thrives in sales, strategy, and omni-channel marketing, of course, yes. And with a designer's creativity and a numbers-driven mind, she has this rare ability to walk into business and instantly spot its growth path. Above all, she's a builder. And that's her happy place, and turning ideas into something very real. And she trains hard, protects her mental health, and believes her energy is one of the greatest assets, something that you feel the second she walks in the room. And
that's
welcome
me.
to today's show, Ashley. It's a privilege to have you on today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And we are about to crack into one of the most unforgettable fucking episodes that you've ever heard. With all respect, this is for you if you're ready to build $1 million mentor or consulting business, or if you're just another successful brand looking to get that competitive edge in an oversaturated market. I mean, let's be real, all the industries are becoming saturated because at this point, every mom and their grandma wants to be an entrepreneur. But we're here to show you some real people. And the reason why I bring these people on, my friends, okay, business partners, even clients, is because I want to let you guys see that having this type of lifestyle impact empire is normal. At least in my opinion, it should be normal. I know that's a strong word, like it should be normal, but like it can be normal for you to really like have a scalable business, be able to spend plenty of time with your family and friends, be able to have health as well, and still have time to do things that you love outside of like working. And I know for me, it was outside of my paradigm before I became an entrepreneur 15 years ago, actually longer than that. But once you actually start to see this kind of opening and this kind of silver lining of like a lot of these lessons that life teaches us through suffering, you begin to see that it is also possible for you. And that I think that a lot of the fears that we forget that we have, or that we know we forget that they're all universal, right? We forget that everyone tries and fails at things. And I think that when we recognize that we're only a few failures away from our big breakthrough, my question to you on today's episode when we interview Ashley is if you knew that was the truth, that you were only about 33 fucking failures. And I'm talking real, like embarrassing failures to your biggest breakthrough in business, meaning triple X, 10X your financial goals and impact goals. How fast would you want to fail? Right? How fast would you want to fail? How fast would you want to learn from those mistakes if you knew that that was the case? At least that's what I've come to realize. Get my point? So today I want to ask you a few questions before we get into like the meat and potatoes of how you are evolving and who you're ready to serve in this next evolution of who you're becoming as a leader. And just let's be real. It's like a daily thing. It's not like, I mean, of course we have our soul awakenings and our rock bottoms and we have our breakthrough moments in life. But how did you get started with this?
Okay, so I'm third gen entrepreneur. Grandpa was in trucking. Dad jumped into trucking, warehouse building, staffing. So I kind of grew up like seeing what running your own business and stuff was. Pros and cons, right? Dad was home late. He had to travel. We'd go up to the office on the weekends, hang out with him. So by the time I got to community college, 2-year local college, didn't teach you much, but I had the option from my dad to either go to university or start a company. And I was always a hustler from when I was young. My dad's like, Ashley, love money. And I worked since I was 15 between milking cows, Subway, Napa store. And I just never wanted to be capped at how much success or money I could have in life. Not that I had a problem working for others, but I always, no matter who I worked for, saw other ways I'd love for things to be ran. So for me as a creative and artist and just a mind that's like always spinning, I wanted to be able to have the freedom to build my own things. Early on, all I wanted was, $100,000, or build $1 million company. And then you realize like, okay, you did that. And then you're like, well, I could do more. So yeah, that's kind of how it got started 10 years ago.
Have you always been this quirky? Have you always been this gregarious? Have you always been this charismatic? Have you always had that glitter and shine to you? Or was that like an acquired skill? Like, I feel like when I was a kid, I was very clownish, and I mean that in a positive way. But I feel like that got suppressed, like in high school and college. Then in college, I kind of just rebroke that through. But what about you? Like, have you always been that way?
I've always...
Or were you like a quiet, timid child?
So I was very shy sometimes. Like, I couldn't even speak in high school, like, do a speech. I would, like, cry. Like, I couldn't handle it. I was very outgoing and energetic with my friends, but I did not have a lot of self-confidence, like, through high school and stuff. I think it took quite a few years into my business. And to be honest, really moving to Austin, Texas in the past 2.5 years has helped my social side of things. Just seeing so many people feel so confident. And I moved to a city knowing no one. So I was like, I can be whoever I want to be, right? So I really felt like I could finally like release all this energy that I've had and this excitement to people, because there was no prejudgment of who I was coming from a very small town. And so I just moved here just being this happy, energetic, positive person I was. And it's kind of just like expanded from there, I guess. With positive feedback to who I am, it only encourages me more to like push my authenticity and my energy among others that I meet.
Love that. And with authenticity, I think comes a lot of lessons. And so this is coming to mind is like, what is a big like failure, rejection, thing that like you had to go through, right? To learn something that was valuable for you. Like, what was that for you?
There's been a lot of failures. A lot of money wasted, a lot of failures. I feel also very confident when I speak about business and what I do, because I've touched every little piece of the process in all of my companies in 10 years. So I didn't just hire someone to learn a machine. I didn't just hire someone to do the marketing originally. Like, I learned it first, so I knew what the fuck I was talking about.
Right.
Otherwise, like, I wasn't just going to put it in the hands of this person. So if they were gone, it was just all going to fail, right? I mean, I know some people are very hands off, but like the way my brain works is I love to learn something, or at least 90% of it, to then pass it off. But I have to fully understand the circle before, you know, I can like proceed with something. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
No, it makes 1,000% sense. And so, like, for you, I definitely see you as someone who has a lot of unapologetic, like, fun, and we call that swag in my world. And also leadership, you know? And I think that a lot of people in the world, like a lot of coaches, consultants, entrepreneurs, I would say that many of them, and I can also always improve. Like, I'm always wanting to learn, grow, invest in myself. Like, that's fucking so important. But I think that there's people when it comes to the importance of having a personal brand, the importance of having a reputation and being credible and trusted. Like, people are either back-end optimized versus front-end optimized. Okay, so think of front end optimization as like you got the personality, you have the connections, you have the style, you have the flow. Like, you've got this external brand ambassador vibe, and then back end optimization is but again, you may be like the club promoter, but you're missing that back end optimization. You may be delinquent behind the scenes. You may not have even like good money, or you may have issues with the law or some shit. You may not be a moral character.
Yeah.
Doctor, on the other hand, is back end optimized. So he went to school, got all the accolades, very smart, did everything thought he was supposed to do to be winning in society. But maybe he's like quite boring. Maybe he has a hard time at having deep connections in his life. Maybe he feels isolated, and he has a hard time at standing out as a brand, right? So I think that you have both, though. I think that you have those like back end, front end optimization. What would you say to somebody who's struggling in one of those two? Does that make sense? Does that give you a clear context for what I'm talking about when it comes to front end versus back end optimization?
I have to think on that.
Those are levers, right?
Yeah.
Those are levers of expansion, let's just say.
Yeah. I mean, that's why I believe in like just starting and just doing something, so you at least have a little bit of, say you don't feel comfortable talking about it because you're like, well, I don't have the experience, right? Well, just start dabbling around, and then even your 30 minutes of dabble is now your experience, right? Like, you now have some kind of experience in that moment to now feel comfortable enough to talk about. So like, nobody asked, did you have 30 years of it? No, but maybe you did it for 30 minutes.
Yeah.
But you at least now can speak about whatever this is you're selling or you're doing, because you've touched it a little bit. I don't know if that makes sense.
No, it makes sense. That makes sense. What would you say to someone who is like really good at doing that thing? Okay. They're very good at confidence, but they are missing that competence. Because I think that my audience, they don't want to be dabblers. They want to be masters.
Yeah.
And I think that we all do it. Like, we all have this, can just put on this shtick of like, I'm blindly confident. And surprisingly, that works. It's crazy. It works. Like, you can literally just like be confident, and people like fall into that frame, to then maybe realize that maybe you weren't as competent later.
Yeah.
But that can save you time to then become competent.
Okay.
Right? So what would you say to someone who is not quite getting the results in business, yet maybe they have a big brand, they have plenty of followers, they have the clout, they have the like connections, but something's not clicking. Like, they're still struggling behind the scenes to like make money to scale.
Because I know some people like this who have like, say, 350,000 followers, right?
I do too, yeah.
And I'm like, why is he making half of what I make?
Right.
And
that's what I asked them.
Like, I'm like,
what the fuck, bro?
What are you doing?
Yeah.
It's like, I just see money everywhere. Like, I can't help myself. Every product, every person, everything. I'm just like, you should start doing this. I don't know. Like, and again, I know that I have kind of a unique brain in the way that I see things and market it, but people need, and maybe they just need to study other brands and people, but open their mind a little bit to be like, okay, like, this is my niche. This is my industry. Either what product now, I have all these people, right? What are they into? Okay. I do this with my companies all the time. For example, my decking company. People are buying cooler tops with a logo. I'm now tagging those people as business on the back end to now upsell them to my other company that is a commercial printing company, right? So it's like, you already have this person. Now, how do we make money off of them? What are other things these people are into, right? Whether they're watching you just lift weights. Okay. Have you sold the course on fitness and health? Have you worked? Do you want to work on a product for these people? Right. It's like, what is your niche? What is your following? And now, what can you upsell to these people? Because you don't have to pay to get those leads already. You already have the lead gen. Now, what do we sell to them?
And have you noticed that there's people, like, have you ever done like a diagnostic on the people who buy, let's just say, you know, that thing that you have, Ashley has a company where they make these like things for laptops, and you put them on the back, and it doesn't slide, right? It doesn't slide off your lap when you got your laptop. Have you noticed, and you can start to see, you're smart, so you know where I'm going with this. Have you ever noticed that there have been avatars who you could possibly see where like that company plus the other company, like the printing company, and I mean like whatever, I'm just saying like, you get my point? Like that can be synergistic with something that is more premium packaged, so that like basically you're just monetizing your fucking brain, you know, like you're monetizing your skill set, and that's not time for money. Like a product is like, here's the product, here's the money, or this is, you know, employees, they say, oh, well, here's my punch in the hour, and then here's my dollar per hour. But in high ticket, it's like, let me package the value, right, of this solution. And it doesn't matter if it takes a month or if it takes 3 months, but regardless, it's going to be faster than if you do it by yourself. Does that make sense? So have you seen a common thread of maybe where like the divine is trying to guide you into this more like premium, let's just say, aspect? Like, let's say like you could put all your businesses in one bucket, right, and turn it into like a triangle, right? At the bottom is like where all your leads are, the most leads are, the second most leads, and maybe like the smaller population of your leads, like of all your businesses. If you were gonna like segment that, I'm willing to almost guarantee that there's a smaller population out of that list, and then not even to mention all the new people, other people who don't know who you are online, that could be like aware of something that is, or let's just say financially qualified to like work with you in a more intimate setting. Does that make sense? Have you seen common thread? Have you ever thought about that?
Oh yeah, it's crossed my mind, future plans, because it's, again, I do work with so many B2B, so many businesses, right, and it's like I already have these people, so now, you know, as you just said, it's like, what consulting or service, or how could I help them? Because I can look at their companies and say, hey, like, this is maybe some ways you could help out your marketing, right? Like, you're already purchasing this, but I can help you consult on other ways to market out from there. I worked with a company and a guy for a while on the East Coast. This was actually before Ozempic got really big, and I didn't even know what it was. And I'm also the fractional CMO of a large staffing company, and he reached out because I knew HubSpot very well, and so I started consulting for him, because I had the credentials. And he found me through our other businesses.
That's epic. So you already have case like proof.
And I didn't even have to reach out.
He just found you.
He found me through a contractor.
That's so dope.
That I used. So yeah, it was really cool.
Oh damn. Okay, and we're about to get into the spiritual stuff. But before we get into the spiritual stuff, tell me about your. This is controversial because I like to create some like controversy.
Yeah.
What is your? Oh, but let's give people context, right, as to
Okay.
who you are. What do you stand for? What do you want to be known for, like in the rooms that you're not in?
A few things. Of course, like my authenticity. That's just like a compliment that
100%.
I love because it's not something you try for. It's just like who you are. My energy, as we mentioned. But I'm someone who just does, like I just start doing. And maybe that's my ADHD. That is a pro in my life. I use it as an asset versus a con, where I have an idea and I just start doing it. I'll spend money on it. I'll try it. Where a lot of people, and this is like something my dad taught me too, I don't like go heavy in investing in the stock market. I invest in myself. I bet on myself every day more than I bet on these random people to take my money.
Sure.
I know I can 10x my money quicker than some market. So it's like, I just loaned all myself money for a new machine, right? A new large 6-figure machine. Because why pay the bank that money? Pay it to myself. Sorry, I'm digressing, but
No, this is great.
it's it's just I like to be known for just starting things and just doing things because it isn't going to be your first company that's your big winner, right? I've fucked around, I've dabbled for 10 years, and yes, I've done 8 figures in sales, but now the next couple of years is to really hone in on the big things out of everything that I've learned, and I'd love to help have people skip all the 10 years that I did and help be like, hey, here's 10 years of my knowledge and let's shorten it. And you don't have to waste your time with all the bullshit that I wasted my time on.
Yeah. What would you call that? Give me a name. I was thinking something with like the Activation Founder Club. That's some dope shit for like a fucking program.
Yeah.
Like,
I'll come. I'm good at branding. So give me like a day and I can have a name for it.
yeah. And tell me about like this let's just say this polarizing conversation around the toxic masculinity versus like this grandiose feminism movement. Okay, and realize that the reason why I'm bringing this up to this topic up to the table is to give a voice to not just men who are like focused just on winning, but also women who really want to own their feminine power, within a majority masculine dominated space, but without seeing that softness and that receptivity is fucking powerful. Does that make sense, right? Like,
yeah.
I want you to speak on that.
So, and I don't want people to get confused either because I am...
Right.
And it's not that I'm not for the girls because I'm a girl, but I never have been a fan of put me in a different bucket because that's not my thing, right? Like I play with the boys too. But there is pros to being a woman. As much as some women think there's a lot of cons, and there can be, I've never looked at the cons in my life, right? I use my pros. On average, females will always, and my dad will tell me this all day, he'll put... For the businesses me and him have ventured in together, he says, put her on camera. Like, he knows. Women will open more doors at the end of the day. So, like, okay, maybe men have certain pros, and we spoke on this before, is they can focus on one thing, right? And that is why a lot of men are CEOs and leaders, because they're very good at dialing themselves in, whereas women can multitask, and that's also a pro. But, like, women, use your assets. Like, you will be able... Feel confident, dress the way you want to dress, like work on your presentation and the way you speak, and you will open more doors every day because, like you said, we can have that softness to us, that not so intimidating side that makes a buyer or someone feel a little bit like not, as I said, intimidated by a woman as they are a man.
Yeah.
So you like feel good about it. Like women don't hate the men and men don't hate the women. Like we each have our pros and cons, but just like hone in on what that is.
100%. Yeah, no, for sure. Like I think of it this way, right? Like think of someone like Eckhart Tolle, right? The guy studied a lot and been through a lot. And obviously he's an executor because he's got all this work out. He's landed the fucking plane. But what gets people absolutely compelled to pay him millions of dollars at his live events. I love Eckhart Tolle. I should pay Eckhart if you're watching. Like, let me just give you more cash, okay? Because you helped me to not burn out as much as I could have, and got me out of like dark places in life. But it's his presentation. No one can sit there. I say this at my live events. No one can sit there and tell me this grandpa ringing a bell should be such a fucking big deal. But why is it that Eckhart, when he rings that bell, there's so much tension in the room? As soon as he rings it, everyone just explodes with like orgasmic energy.
Yeah.
And they're like, wow. But like if you're a grandpa ringing a bell, you'd be like, cool, but grandpa, like that was boring.
Yeah.
But he is a master at that feminine energy, which is not gender related. It means that expression, that presentation, as you said, which is what gets that buy-in. It's called conveyor buy-ins. You convey an idea in a way that is entertaining and can hold people's attention. If you can't do that, you are fucked in 2025.
Yeah.
And I say that with love. But anybody can get attention. But can you hold the attention where you just have people mesmerized by even when you're not talking and it's just silence? Can you hold that magnetism? That's what you're just natural at doing. And that's feminine energy.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
what is the number one fear that you feel that like women like you are, or men, even men, like, cause I mean, you've been hired by a lot of successful men too. So like, what do you think that their fear is when it comes to like investing in something new or trying a different way? Like we don't like to try different ways because then that would have to mean that we did it wrong or some shit or it stopped working.
Yeah, so
it's hard.
This is like one of the biggest things I see, and this is like where I really want to help people and shake people is like all people coming to me every day, right? And like I have this idea, I want to do this, and I'm like, so what have you done?
Damn,
and
bro.
it's like
that's sales right there. What have you done? What have you tried?
I'm just like annoyed. I'm like, bitch, I'm running 8 things. And you're working 30 hours a week and you don't have time. And I go to the gym for 7 hours a week and I meditate and I do all this and I call my grandma and I talk to my dad. But somehow you don't have enough time to just start. Like make the post. You know how many social media pages I've had in 10 years? Probably 45. Okay.
Right.
I've had over 200 domains because when I think of something, I buy it. Maybe I don't do anything with it, but just start somewhere. I think people's biggest problem is they try to be so perfect and they haven't even tested the market yet.
Right.
Just start testing, stop worrying about perfection. And I don't know, I just walk into a room and I just, like I said earlier, I see money in places and people need to start thinking on how to not even just sell themselves, but how to make connections with people, right? I'm in printing. If I walked into a business, I walked on a boat the other week and I said, oh, who makes your shirts? Oh, whatever. I said, who makes that? I said, here's my business card. Let me send you an email and I'll make your stuff for you. My friend's like, what? And I'm like, it's money right there. I think people just need to be thinking broader than like what they are. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
No, that's called thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
Right? And so on one side I like to use metaphors, so like a coin, which represents an objection, which is just a fear. It's like on one side you have, what you said, look at the data, test it like a scientist. That's an identity issue people have because they're only looking at the loss, which is the ego is always, what do I get? What do I lose? What do I get? What do I lose? And
I don't look at losses.
That's what I'm saying though. People always look at what's wrong or what they could lose, which is understandable. It's reasonable. But I can guarantee you I've never scaled my business from making necessarily reasonable decisions. I tried to balance rational thinking with unreasonable goals. Basically, I'm like, you know what I mean? It's because like the opposite is like, what if it does work out? What if you do fucking smash it?
Yeah.
What if you are wrong about how fast you could get to this next 100K month? Why are you stopping success? Why are you blocking success from yourself? Like no one out there is holding you back. You are doing it to yourself. And there's a part of you that likes that, right? Because it reminds you of all the times that you got disappointed and then your ego got fractured, right? And then everyone's like, oh shit, like, are you reading my journal? I'm like, no, it's just because I had that shit, like so bad.
I used to care and now I don't.
Syndrome, right? Yeah. It's like, are you going to use comparison to stimulate creativity and innovation and frequency, or are you going to use competition to beat yourself in the head with a bat to make yourself feel inferior? You know what I mean?
No, it excites me. I love meeting people higher level than me because it only and I'm intrigued, and I'm like, okay, like what are you doing different, right? So it's like I think there was a shift in me about 4 or 5 years ago. I started listening to some podcasts,
right?
And I was like, fuck, I can do this. What are you talking about? Like, no, I didn't go to Harvard. I am intelligent, but I don't have a university degree. And I'm self-taught in everything, but I'm so confident that I can go learn anything and figure out anything that it has opened my mind up to an extreme amount of success that I know I can have one day. And to others, it may sound crazy, but I do believe in manifestation, and I believe in like saying I can do this and it's going to happen. Yeah. And it's just going to happen.
That's amazing. That's your belief in yourself. I like to say, everyone's an expert at manifesting. They're experts at manifesting their reality. And people get a little bit pissed at that, but I'm like, it's just facts. It's like, you are an expert at getting the results you have. And
so if you have shitty results, it's because you sit around and you're like, I can't do this. So then you're manifesting losses.
Well, yeah, and that's what I meant by the inferiority thing that we sometimes grow up with. But then even there's a more scary thing, which is superiority complex, which is like it's like the know-it-all syndrome. It's like I know that, and it's almost like the brokest people that I know. They always know everything. Yeah. Like they always already know everything I'm about to say. I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna stop talking. Like I'm not gonna ever give anyone advice. Like not my friends, not unless they ask for it aggressively or pay for it. Like it's almost like you think it's gonna help them.
I think that's one of the biggest things I've learned, and that all of my employees over the years have appreciated. I've learned this in leadership. Is admit to being wrong. I admit 40 times a day, I fucked up. That was my fault. Or I'll admit to other people, oh, I don't know. Like, I'm never going to try to act like I have all the answers at the end of the day.
Yes. Well, that makes you like a rare one.
That I can admit to being wrong and I don't have the answers. But I'm going to figure them out.
Well, I'm just saying at the level you're playing, it's rare.
Yeah.
Now, a lot of people like who are just starting or intermediate, like, that's kind of what I meant.
Yeah.
But like even at the highest level, I know that humility is like such a game changer, because it's almost like it makes you even more magnetic when you are like so kind and nice by choice, because people know what you're capable of. Like they know you're a force to be reckoned with. They know you're someone who can dominate. But you don't need to do it over people, but they know, like, it's like Tom Brady. Like, look at someone like Tom Brady.
Yeah.
He's so fucking soft.
Yeah.
But, like, that's magnetic because on the field, he's a savage.
Yeah.
And he'll rip your face off if you get in his way.
Yeah.
Right? So having that dynamic personality is such a power play. And so that's what I like to kind of curate within my clients and my communities, brand identity, like almost like their brand voice is like what's appropriate for you. If you're tall, if you're short, like someone like me, I need to be potent to outcompete someone who's taller, because I can use my personality to overcome that limitation that I can't control, right? I'm not gonna chop off my legs to become tall. You see those guys doing that shit? Yeah. It's fucking crazy. Yeah. I'm like, that's psychotic.
Yeah.
But then like I can't give the same coaching advice like on speaking to someone who's taller, because their genetic makeup, that's not their strength. So what they need to do is lean back more and be like have like more of a monotone, not too monotone, but they need to be like smooth operator, like Tom Brady. Like it wouldn't make sense for me to coach Tom Brady on like, yo, you need to be like pizzazz, like you need to get some swag, bro.
Yeah.
Like wake the fuck up, bro. He's like, hey, man, I'm Tom Brady. I'm 6'8". You know, like that's not good advice for that guy. Does that make sense? So what will work for one person based on their strengths, and this is something I fucking pride myself on, is like, I'm aware that I need to flex to meet you where you are and to amplify you. My goal is to not get you to be me, because what will work for me most likely won't work for you unless we're very, very, very similar. Does that make sense?
Oh, 100%.
But I see it all the time, yo. Like all these business people, and I'm not complaining or projecting, but I've just noticed that in my own experience, people I know, all these people I've asked, is like, I think the biggest Achilles heels that we all have, and it's like narcissistic, is like, I just want to make more me's in the world. Like I want all my clients to be me, to become me, to do everything how I do it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a fine line, right? Because I've modeled a lot of my mentors who I paid tremendously, and that benefited me to kind of get out of my own fucking way. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So like it's healthy to model someone who you're aspiring to be like, or you paid to help you, temporarily, to just get out of your own way, to then have enough time to build some real legs in the ground, and then later you can kind of let that go and kind of own your own sauce. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, it's like, okay, not everybody's
it's
going to
modeling them. You're just modeling them temporarily.
Run around with my energy. That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But it's like, they can take a piece of it, like 25% of it,
yes,
to feel a little bit more confident in what they, they're doing, and then find their own. But yeah.
Yeah, I love this. This is great. And so like when you think about your ultimate vision for like not just your business, but for your lifestyle and your relationships, I know that family is obviously very important to you.
Yeah.
And health is obviously very important to you, and impact is important to you. But yeah, let's talk about that.
So a few things. A few years ago, I made a reverse burn rate spreadsheet, right? So basically everything I could ever want in life, right? How much I want to travel, how much I want to do this. And this is how because I'm a numbers girl, and I like a good spreadsheet. And I decided how much all
Hear
this.
that, guys?
I do.
Wow, that's
ChatGPT could have made it for me, but I made it 5 years ago.
Hearing that from a woman is like next level.
Yeah, I'll go deep. I'll go deep into a spreadsheet.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I think a lot of people screw up in life because they just keep going, and they never actually stop or feel good at where they want. So it's like, everything I want in life, put it on this spreadsheet. How much estimate is that going to cost? Minus taxes, how much is that going to be? How big of a company do I need to create and net profit to make that? So now I have that number, right? So that's on the money side of things. And that's for me to look back at, maybe edit a little, but know okay, this is all I really need. Right. Even though my goals have become a little bit bigger. My goals are not money, though. I have goals of knowing that I was able to put my mind to something and know I could create it, right? Whether I want to create the 9-figure company, the 8-figure company, whatever it is. I know I'm possible. I know it's possible and I'm capable of it. So I think I'll regret my life if I don't push for those extreme goals. Now, maybe that's not normal, because what gives me happiness out of life, and I do believe this is where a lot of people mess up, we're happy when we're building and creating. Right. If you just retire at 20 and you're not making anything, you're not going to enjoy your life.
You're going to be fucking depressed.
So I already know what fuels me, right?
Yeah.
But do I want to run all the companies I'm doing now forever? No. Personally, I would love to speak. I love speaking, clearly.
Speaker.
I would love to speak to people, to audiences.
An author, too. I think you could write a few books.
And I love writing. I write poems, actually, for fun.
Yeah, a few books here. I think the book tour, the speaking tour is a legit thing for you, in the next 3 years.
I think it's possible. It is possible. I don't think it's possible. It is possible.
You just need to have a reason why. That's stronger than the fear.
Yeah.
Right? Because the fear is always going to be there. We're not trying to get rid of the fear. But that's all you got to know.
Yeah.
Right.
So it's first I've been building my credibility and I've been learning everything. And then it's my long-term goal is the speaking and more of a public figure about business and lifestyle in general, because along with just business, it comes your health, right? Your physical health, your mental health, all these other things that I think people push aside, but I focus on very heavily, as well as my family. And if it's not family, it's your friends. So that is kind of the goal, and to where I get to a point where I have a lot of other things I'd love to create, but I'd love people who don't know how to get it going. They can partner with me, and I can tell them all the little steps to do it, and I'll have part of the company, and they can have part of the company, and then we'll go on from there.
Okay, so got it. Yeah. I mean, what like, what's that philosophy then when it comes to lifestyle? Like, what do you mean by that? Because like, if you have never seen Ashley's Instagram,
I like to,
let's just say she's very creative. Okay.
Yeah.
But I think that is, once that's like really known to people, it's almost like it gives them a context that you can also do things that you love outside of work. I think it's very inspiring to a lot of people. I think that you're fucking inspiring a lot of people already. I think that's the truth.
Yeah, I do adventures, right? Because in between the hustle, like, especially for me, and I believe all entrepreneurs and creatives, like, you need to brain break. You need to get out. You need to go, like, enjoy a little bit of the success you're doing, and put yourself in a different location. So I just went to, Europe. I just went down to the Keys to scuba dive, snowboarding, like all these things. And I just force myself to go do it, even if the time is wrong. There's never a right time. Business is always crazy, but life, I hate the cliche that it's short, but like, make the time to go do it. And to be honest, if I wouldn't have gone and done some of these things, I wouldn't have crafted up some of the marketing sales ideas that I've come up with.
Thank you.
Because I come up with them on these trips.
Yeah, me too. That's what people don't understand, is like the whole reason you want to get systems and delegation, and you want to scale to at least 40K per month, like, or 30K per month at least, like, you won't have the time. Like, I know consultants and even service providers who make, 30-50K a month is pretty fucking good in the grand scheme of things, but they're working like fucking 50-60 hours a week, and they are a slave, okay, chained to their phone, chained to their business. They're overwhelmed in delivery. They have C players as teammates. It's like chaos. So they don't even have time to like have the time to go out in nature and have adventure. And that's how I come up with my best positioning and marketing and storytelling. It's not sitting on a fucking computer screen trying to crank out some formula.
No, it's going for a walk.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Going out of town.
You need that time to be a fucking founder.
You do.
And founder energy is like female. It's not female, but like feminine energy is like free. It's expressive. It's all over the place. It's almost like, it's like organized chaos. But then the CEO is like the stabilizer. It's the organizer. It's the structure underneath that brings that vision to life. And I think that if more people understood those polarity magnets, and either delegate that shit to someone who that's their zone of genius, so that you can be the founder and the creator and the amplifier and the voice, while they can deal with the day-to-day management and systems.
That's the goal right there. You just explained my goal.
What?
I don't do the day-to-day in the next 5 years.
Well, that's why you're talking to me.
I know.
I can help you with that shit. But again, you'd be surprised that you don't necessarily have to, like, for instance, I know this guy. I don't want to take the spotlight off of you, but I do know this guy who's crushing it. I forget his name. But he basically has like a list of AI like programs and softwares, and he basically uses that to sell a package to optimize like older businesses who have a lot of revenue, and basically he is able to close them on deals of like 5-10K a month, where literally he just say, hey, you know what, don't pay that employee 50K a year, let me save you that per year, and let me just install this AI software. And they're like, sign me up. And dude, this guy's cranking like $1 million a month, like barely working. Yeah, because it's all automated. There's no training. There's no hiring talent. you know? And I'm not saying you need to do that, but like even having someone who's equipped with like knowing how to operate AI is still going to save you tons of money from hiring.
I'm already working on something because within the past few weeks, I've had a turnover of employees, and I realize how big of a headache it is.
Yeah.
So
we're unreliable.
I'm building something for myself that I already know that I can package up and sell to hundreds of businesses that I already have the contacts of.
Yeah.
And then this is a high net, I'm getting out of low net margin businesses and working my way into high net margin businesses that take less of my time and other people can run.
Yeah. And that's what's so sick is like, you can like, there's websites you can find people in the Philippines to do the onboarding, the lead gen, the sales, all that stuff, the customer service with operating the AI. And like you have an SOP, they just follow it. And then now like you basically just become a closer for these deals, and then you just delegate the fulfillment and pay them like what, $250, $300 a month to just operate the thing for your client.
Yeah.
It's fucking magic.
And
it's
a key
sick.
is
I'm so excited about this.
So show people what you can do for them first before trying to buy it for them. We've always done this. We call it phase kits. Phase them with something, whether it's something physical or a service, and show them a little bit, and then they're hooked, right? I just listened to a podcast about that this morning. It's like, especially with AI now, you can dabble a little bit, spend 30 minutes or an hour for a company that you know that they 90% chance they're going to buy this.
Right.
Show it to them basically like, hey, this is how we can fix it. Boom, done. Don't come in like blank slate, nothing to sell them, you know? It's like, I've already created it for you. Here, I'll take your money. It's that easy. It's really not that hard.
Yeah. And it's like a wave. Okay, so it's almost like there's a window of portal, and it's coming in, and in the next 5 years, there's going to be like hundreds of thousands of millionaires.
Oh, it's getting crazier.
You know?
Yeah.
And I'm excited because it's just a new, it's more about wealth, generational wealth, and stewarding that for like educational things for kids, helping people not destroy the planet, ending child trafficking, and for our business, that's what we focus on. Because that's why people love music. Like they're like, oh, where did they come from? And you know, who do they grow up listening to? And then you realize, oh shit, like this unique band is just a soup of their favorite bands that they grew up with. Like there's nothing new under the sun. So that's why we focus so on highlighting who you are and why you do what you do. Because that shit is the fucking mechanism that's like, boom, simple.
Yeah.
But people buy into you because of course you already know, like they like your energy and they like your vibe, and they know, and of course people want to vet out like just and discern like what has she done, or like what has she done with clients and people like that. But the first thing they really buy is you. It's like your personal brand. Yeah. So I think that the way that you speak is very magnetic, and I think that people like you do this unconsciously, but there's people who really struggle with being their own, like opening their mouth and saying fa la la la. Yeah. Like you just rolls off the tongue for you. Like that's unconscious competence for you.
Yeah. But again, I wasn't born this way, so it is possible for anybody
it's a skill
to learn this skill.
Yeah, and it's not like out there necessarily. It's not like harder work. It's more like you have to just stop blocking that from coming through.
You have to stop caring. You have to stop caring. Nobody fucking cares.
Caring.
They really don't.
Like, the funniest thing is like when you go crush it, you realize how many people don't care. And like the whole time when I hit 7 figures, like in 2022, like I posted all over it. And I'm like, my ego was just, I don't know what, I was out of control. Okay, my ego needed so much validation and approval, and like no one cares. Like no one gives a fuck. They have their own life, you know. And I'm gonna die, and like, you know, I'll be buried, and then everyone's gonna come after the funeral and be like, I'm hungry. Let's go make dinner reservations. I just heard this on
a podcast the other day, and so I brought it up.
Oh, did you?
No, they said, so at your funeral, imagine who's there, right? They go, you know what they're saying? After they just cried, they're going, these potatoes suck. Want to go get a beer? And it's like, people care about for like 30 minutes that you just died. And you're then dead. They're all, other than that very immediate family, you're forgotten about.
Yeah.
On to
No,
the
but
next.
even the immediate family.
Even,
Like,
yeah.
they've got shit to do.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's like
they've got
that.
busy shit to do.
I've felt that way for a while, but I heard that last week and I was like, holy shit. I am ready to amplify everything I've ever done now because I just don't care.
It's because it's just you that's going to care.
It's just me.
That's it.
I will, like
That's
I
what
said
I'm saying.
earlier, I'll
All you
regret my
guys-
life.
Yeah, all you guys trying to get women, like, stop trying to build this to get a partner. You do this for you, and you do this for your kids.
Yeah.
Right? You do this to provide for them, but you don't necessarily do it to find someone.
No.
But people still try to do it that way. It's like it's not contextual though.
No.
But it makes sense, like why a guy would be like, I want to be the protector provider for this woman. It's like a lot of the times women don't care as much about your protector provider. They care.
They care who you are as a person.
Yeah, they care to a point.
Yeah.
But they don't. But that's not necessarily the criteria. Like, oh, the bullies from high school, or like, oh, you know, that's what I thought. I was like, oh, the bullies from high school are like, oh, my parents will like think I'm enough or some shit like that. And like first of all, you realize your parents always loved you. Like you didn't need to go accomplish crazy shit for that to be the case. But then you also realize like the people who you wanted to prove wrong, which we're getting to like marketing and messaging here, like they don't care. They don't give a fuck.
Yeah. I mean, of course, like,
maybe for like a second.
you can still go. Of course, I'm going to go through that sometimes. I can't sit here and say I never think about what do people think, right? But then I have to talk myself out of it. Like, okay, nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. Make the post, do the thing. Nobody knows what you did yesterday because they're so focused on themselves. They really don't care about you.
Yeah, and what I would say also to that is like when it comes to attracting ideal fit clients is like you really do only should in my opinion, and I know should is a strong word now, but like you only really want to care about the philosophy and values of your dream client.
Yeah.
You know, because you honestly should care about like what they care about, because that's the only way you're gonna connect with them, like emotionally.
But if you're saying the right things, the authentic things that speak to these people and that are authentic to you, you're going to automatically attract these people without even trying.
100%. And if you curate this sense of humor to balance out that authority, that's when you really get the dream clients in droves, because my sense of humor isn't the same as yours. But like what the type of crude jokes that I make and self-deprecation that I do, that's what makes me so fucking like clear on who it's for and who it's not for, because I'm clear on who I am, right? Like if I genuinely think that's funny, I'm not gonna stop. Like I'm not gonna apologize for saying that. If I genuinely like think it's funny that I have these weird quirks and these like kind of like things that I do, then like I'm gonna aggressively, not all the time, but I'm going to do that on purpose so that like now people can't frame me as like, oh, he's compensating for his financial success because he's insecure. Like if anyone makes fun of Theo, then his whole world crumbles. Like if I just make fun of me, then I'm really untouchable. Like it's hard to fuck with someone like me because I make fun of me.
I make fun of myself all day. You'll catch me crying on camera. I don't care. I'll like tell people I fucked up. I'll tell people I'm crying. Like I don't like, this is me. This is who I am. And like at first when I moved here, I had some comments. Actually, someone commented on my Instagram name. It says Crazy Ash with 2 E's because my company Print Crazy. And they're like, that's not very professional. You should probably change that. And I almost did. And then I thought, you know what? That's me. Like my license plate says Crazy. Like this is who I am. And you watch my page, you look at me and you'll understand, you know?
Yeah.
So the people who don't love it won't follow or buy in, but the people who I speak to just organically and authentically, same as yourself, they're going to be hooked.
Yeah, because you've got a humanness to you, and that's what people want to see is like they do want to see you're competent, but they also trust you when you are so like it's obvious to them that like you're not this perfect snowflake.
No. And I'm so passionate about everything I do in life. Doesn't matter what it is.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
You're very passionate.
I'm very passionate. You see me speak with my hands.
That's leadership though. It's like if you can't raise the vision and have your vision be so big that others' visions can fit inside of it, then you're in a low paradigm. Like you don't see things from this huge like fucking like visionary paradigm.
Yeah.
So it's hard to play big. So that's what people need to understand from your brand, is that playing to win is easier than playing not to lose.
100%. Oh yeah, you put that perfectly.
But people think the opposite. They
Oh,
think,
I know.
if I play safe, then
I win. No, you don't.
I won't look bad if I
Yeah.
fuck up.
No, I've fucked up a lot.
But it is easier to win big. It's just, it seems harder though. If you haven't egoically, like if you haven't done it yourself, it makes sense to be like, let's do the reasonable goal. You know, but those are the same people that stay stuck for years.
What's reasonable?
That
word's not in my
goals
vocabulary.
are the stupidest thing. Like, I get it. Like, you don't want to delude yourself without a structure.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, at least the delusional person will take more action, which will then lead them to progress a lot easier.
Yeah. My brother, who's my business partner, just in a few things, but we're not going to soon. We're better as brother and sister. He's called me delusional in the past. And I think it's fucking hilarious. And I'm like, that's fine.
Yeah, that's a compliment. That's
Yeah,
I mean,
I'll take that as a compliment.
When people call me crazy, I'm like, thank you. I've tried hard to not fit it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like it's a complete 180. It's an alchemy of like growing up feeling like you know, you always grow up feeling misunderstood, or you feel undervalued for who you are. You feel like an outcast. Like you feel like you don't fit in, but then in entrepreneurship you realize your job is to not fit in.
Yeah.
Like
100%.
Does that make sense? It's like a total 180.
Like, this is what I was made for.
Yeah. It's in my blood. It's in my fucking blood.
It is.
All right. So thank you for coming on today. I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're so freaking busy with all your things and just absolutely crushing it. But where can people find you on Instagram for your new offerings, your current offerings? What's your Instagram handle?
My Instagram is Crazy Ash, but it's CRAZEE_ASH Ash. Crazy with 2 E's.
Crazy Ash. And is there anything else you want the audience to know so that they can grow faster or easier in their business?
Just stop thinking and start doing.
Stop thinking
And start doing it.
Action,
like,
right?
just take an action.
Yeah.
One thing.
Yeah, action.
Stop making excuses. Just nobody cares.
Yeah. Stop trusting your fears more than you trust the vision. That's what I say. If you like this episode, guys, and you want us to do more of this, which I mean, I honestly just don't care if you don't like this shit. I love this shit. Like, I'm just gonna keep doing it because it's actually legit. I hope you like this though. Genuinely, I do. Hope you were entertained. I hope you were educated on you know, how this can become very normal for you to like travel when you want, you know, work with clients you want to work with, be able to have more health and be able to just have the energy to just be inspired, right? To like create and to actualize things and to, you know, build community. Because this is what this is about, is building a fucking global community. We've done it in like 22 countries. And everyone's got this unique mission. It's fucking gorgeous. It's literally the most beautiful thing when you can have people owning their truth, but then collaborating. It's like so bonkers.
And I think that's like really important just to like hone in on at the end here is like, that's something is I love people end of day. And I love seeing people succeed. All of my employees, everybody, like I want everybody happy. And I want to do everything I can that I've learned and I know to help people, you know, get to their goals that they want to. So it makes me happy to see other people happy.
Yes.
I just, as silly as it sounds, that's just like truly like how I feel. I get that from my dad. So
from your dad. Love that. Well, speaking of that, our past guest asked the question for the next guest, and their question was, what is one piece of advice that you would give to your younger self, knowing all that you know now?
Stop looking at the negative, because for probably 5 years, I was focused on, even though it did grow to 7 figures, the negative side of things, when I could have just bypassed a lot of that. And believed in myself a lot more, that I was capable of it.
That's the key, self-belief. I love that. And what is the question that you would like to ask our next guest? Because our next guest is a epic, so it could be anything. What is a question that you would like them to answer when they come on? Take some time to just meditate on it, as long as it's not like a million seconds.
Okay, if they are currently not living their dream life, how many years until they think they will be?
How many years? Damn. Talk about raising the bar and shortening the timeline. I love that.
Because you asked me that. You've asked me that. When I said 5, you said, what about 2?
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay.
And it made you feel something different, didn't it?
It did.
Right? Because it's not about, the point is to make yourself realize that you don't know how, because that's enough to shift your brain chemistry. But then that's when you get the idea. Does that make sense? It's almost like, because you push the goal out further, you justify a lot of the tasks you think you need to optimize that you don't need to focus on at all.
Yeah.
Like they just be eliminated.
Yeah.
You know, I forget who said it. They said either eliminate it, delegate it, or automate it. And so most of the things that grow us is the things that we just say no to. And I think no is sacred. Like, you know, I think it says a lot about someone when they can just confidently just say no and not necessarily need to explain that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a great feeling.
I say no a lot.
You say no a lot? I love it. Okay. Well, appreciate you having on the show. You're the best.
Thank you.
Just the best. And this has been another episode. Make sure you stay tuned in for the next episode of Frequency Leaders Podcast. Thank you for listening. And share this episode with a friend who's wanting to scale. And follow Ashley on Instagram. And make sure you go check out all the links below down here. Shoot me a DM, your favorite takeaway. I would love to know. And let's continue this conversation. And we're done.